Hello, everybody, and good evening to you all. Thank you for coming in and watching us on our Friday night. Thank you very much for that. My name is Ruhan Manzoor, and I'm the managing partner of Maces. Today, we are continuing on our series of, Be on Top of the World with some of our top ranking university partners. We're very happy today to have, University of Leeds and Miss Kasha from University of Leeds she's an international officer and looks after the South Asia and Southeast Asia market and some other markets as well. Hey, Kasha, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for letting me join today.
No, thank you for coming, and I'm really happy that it seems like the audio delay that we were experiencing earlier is seems to have resolved itself. Thank God. And so, you're in Leeds at the moment,
Yes, I'm based in Leeds.
and how's the weather there? How's everything going?
It is cold, so it's the winter here, so it's quite cold, and shorter days, but yeah, not too bad. Only a few more months left of the winter.
Yeah, we're ready to get away from that. I'm in Toronto, and it's believe me, it's we're well, winter is fun. The snow is nice to look at. After a few months, it's like let's we're ready. We're ready for spring. Anyway, thank you for coming today. University of Leeds obviously is one of our top ranking, most prestigious university partners in the UK. I'm really happy to welcome you. And hopefully our students will get to know about this great university and about its history. So how long have you been working with Leeds?
I've worked at Leeds for just over 2 years. So I just started in December 2019, so just a few months before the pandemic. Yes, and as mentioned, I work closely on our South Asia market. So I would work closely with our South Asia team as well, that I'll talk a bit more about in the presentation.
So normally, obviously your job calls for a lot of traveling because, you'll have to go to different countries. But I guess that must be difficult during these these times.
Yeah, so in normal times, we would like to go out and visit as many markets as we can to meet with students in person. And obviously that's more difficult, but there are some positives as well. So obviously the move towards virtual means we can do a lot more activities. And for international students, it means that things like and some activities ran by different faculties are virtual, which means that international students can join a lot more than they could when a lot of things were based on the campus.
And the campus is, going live, and everybody's going to physical classes and everything, right?
Yes. So at the moment, obviously, we always have to follow the government guidance, but the aim is for students to have face-to-face teaching, some face-to-face teaching every week. The things that are remaining online are anything in large lecture theatres with, hundreds of students. That is all online at the moment. But kind of smaller seminars and interactions with personal tutors, that is moving towards face-to-face.
Oh, great. And Kasha, the way we do this is you're going to give us a presentation on the university, and then we will open for questions, and hopefully there will be lots of questions from our audience. So do you want to start?
Yes, sure, that's great. Thank you. I'll click the slides if that's okay, so I know where I'm at. So, to start off, I think there was a brief introduction, but my name is obviously Kasha, and I work at the University of Leeds. So today I am going to talk to you a little bit about the campus, the university, but also a bit about the City of Leeds as well, student life, some of our career support, and then, as mentioned, there will be a chance for you to ask any questions that you have at the end of the presentation. So Leeds is a Russell Group university. It is very high ranking. So consistently, we've been ranked in the top 100 universities in the world in the QS World Rankings. We are fifth most targeted UK university by graduate recruiters, which just means that lots of the large companies and smaller ones that are in the UK see a Leeds graduate as a real asset to their team. And we've been in that ranking quite consistently as well. We also rank highly for student experience. I think a lot of that's the student life on campus, but how close we are located to the city as well. Into the next one. So a bit about the City of Leeds. So it is one of the largest in the UK. It does have great transport links. So a train station, we do have an airport, and it is a direct train to Manchester International Airport. It's located in Yorkshire, which is the county, and there is lots of beautiful countryside in the surrounding areas as well. So we do encourage students to enjoy the city and the countryside as well. It's very student friendly. There are a few universities in Leeds, so there's a really large student population, with lots of things organised by the university, but the city itself will have student activities and student discount in places. Outside of London, it is one of the largest centres for business, legal and financial services. So anyone that's looking to stay in the UK after or placement years, depending on the course, lots of students do find work in Leeds as well. It is a centre in the north of England for sports. So we do have a cricket, a football and a rugby stadium in Leeds. And we do have lots of museums and music venues and galleries as well to enjoy. So this slide just shows you how close the university is to the city centre. So the dark red and kind of the highlighted area is the campus. So we have Leeds University Union, that's like the heart of the campus. There are green spaces on the campus for students to enjoy as well. We do have 4 libraries. So Laidlaw is for undergraduate students, and the Parkinson's building has the Brotherton Library as well. And then 2 more, one for research and another library for kind of health. We do have the Edge, which is the sports facility. Some of our accommodation is on the campus. Some of it's a short walk away, some between the city and the campus. And we do guarantee accommodation for international students as well. But you can see here that it's about a 10 to 15 minute walk and you are in the city centre of Leeds. So our students do spend time across the campus and the city quite easily, and you can walk between the two as well. So you're not needing to, use and spend a lot of money on public transport. So it's a Russell Group university, which is a group of 24 UK universities that are known for being very research intensive. And that research does feed down into every level of study. So we have academics that are doing research that then could be teaching you in whatever course it is that you'd like to go into. We are one of the largest universities in the UK. We have about 38,000 students from over 190 different countries, and lots of undergraduate and master's programs to choose from as well. So a little bit about our faculties. So we have 7 faculties. So things like social sciences is where the School of Law would be. Then we have lots of different engineering, civil, mechanical, chemical, all in there as well. We also have the business school, biological sciences, arts, humanities and cultures, medicine and health, and environment as well. So whichever faculty you would be based in, all of your career support and just general support for your time academically at the university would be based in that faculty and then that school that you were within. So it just means that the support that you get is kind of fitting and dedicated to the course that you've chosen. So a bit about the business school. It's one of a small number of schools that are triple accredited. We have lots of different subject areas across undergraduate and postgraduate. level as well. Everything has an international outlook, and we embed employability and bespoke advice into those courses, and you would have career support based in the business school as well. We have collaborative teaching rooms, lecture theatres, boardroom facilities, and kind of the latest in interactive learning. The business school does have a global alumni community of about over 35,000 students and growing, in more than 145 different countries. And if you were to study at Leeds, you were to be part of that community for life and for your career afterwards. And the link at the bottom is where you can search all the courses that are within. And then
we might have maybe some
we do
internet
have the Bragg
issues.
building, which is the kind of largest single investment we've made on Leeds campus. It brings together kind of engineering, computing, chemistry, physics and astronomy. It is sorry, lost my train of thought. And then we also have the schools of civil, chemical and process, electronic and engineering, and they all tend to rank quite highly in the top 10 in the UK. On to a little bit more about some of our other ones. So the Leeds Institute for Data Analytics is also something, so it's works with us. So it's kind of bringing together the university research with the needs and opportunities of other organisations. We also rank highly in communication and media studies. So we have a School of Media and Communication based within arts, humanities and cultures. And we also rank quite highly in subjects such as law. If you have a particular course you're interested in and you were interested in the rankings of it, you can go onto the course page. It will list things like the facilities that you'd have access to and the rankings in different areas as well. So within the courses, there is the option to do elective and discovery modules sometimes, which are you choosing elective modules within your course. So, for example, if you're doing an graduate course, you'd have more opportunities to pick your modules throughout the year as well as the compulsory modules. And discovery modules can be in a different area, and they normally tend to be about 10 to 20 credits. There's also placement year and study abroad options, which are really great to make you kind of stand out from other graduates. We dedicated career centre, which I will talk a bit more about afterwards, and we do a lot with employer engagement, and we try and link students up through mentoring with alumni that may be in the area or the career that they would like to go into. So we a career centre, as I said, and then there will be employability officers based within the individual schools. There's lots of different things available. So they will do lots of events and workshops. So we have general career events, have specific ones like law, STEM fairs throughout the year as well. You could book one-to-one appointments to go through mock interviews, application support, and we will have employers come on and do talks as well. And that through
I think we are having some connectivity issues from Kasha. Maybe she's reloading her screen there. So dear audience, do apologize. Maybe we're having some connectivity issues. So yes, I see that she's just come back. Hi, Kasha. Sorry, I think the internet was giving trouble, and we had to stop. So you want to share again, or
yes, are you?
Yeah. So once you,
do we still?
I'll just have to open it. So we have to share again. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the one thing with virtual events that
Yeah.
you can't always rely on the internet.
Yeah. Well, while we wait, we were at the carrier services thing. So the thing about carriers that I like to always say is, with uh, especially in the UK, when students go in, they usually go in September, and it takes about you need to start applying for your jobs right away, like from November. Like employers start looking for candidates from almost a year before, and actually a lot of
Yeah.
employers I know, March, April, they already give the offers. Here we go, we're back. um, we can
Yeah.
restart again from that point. And one thing I really loved in your
Yeah.
presentation was uh, Leeds consistently ranks amongst the top 5 universities that employers actively seek out. Especially for international students, this is relevant because a big part of the investment you make, you want to gain some of that back, and of course the way to gain it is by getting gainful employment. And because if you study in Leeds, triple accredited school, and if you're a student from there, you're already targeted by employers. Anyway, I will not
Yeah.
blabber on. I'll let you continue.
No, that's a very good point. So I think it's a combination of the two for Leeds, that it is a very high-ranking university. So obviously employers want those graduates, and then they are very aware of the career support that we have, and all the different things that we do, and they do engage with us. So we will have employers come onto the campus, or the last few years virtually, to run workshops, but also to meet with students and interact with all the career events that we do as well. So yes, sorry if I repeat myself in something I said before I was dropped off, but this is the support that you'd have in the Career Centre. We also have the Global Careers as well. So we do host a series of events and activities for global career opportunities. We had different weeks last year, so 4 different countries. So we had Europe, India, etc., had separate weeks. The career support is kind of open to UK and international students, anyone that's looking to study globally. So we do focus on that as well as UK work. So as I'm sure you're aware, and have been told multiple times, but just to go over it, obviously things have changed from this last September 2021. Students could then stay and apply for a visa, international students, to stay and work in the UK for 2 years post-study in any job. So this just gives students a lot more time to find a job, to settle in, and to gain experience in their sector as well. And then afterwards, there is the opportunity to kind of be sponsored and go onto a skilled work visa as well. And obviously you would now be able to have 2 years experience, and before it was only 6 months. So that's a really positive thing that's happened. So a bit about the student life and support. So obviously we have, we'll talk about our Self-Age team, but my colleague Shibani would be a contact throughout kind of the application and joining Leeds, and she works very closely with the international office where I'm based. And once you were at the university, you would still have dedicated international student support throughout your time with us. Same with the Welcome and Orientation programme, that's to settle students in, and that would also have an international welcome week before as well. You would have a personal tutor to help you academically and with settling in. And then the Leeds University Union has over 300 different clubs and societies to choose from, as well as kind of the sports clubs that we have in the Edge as well. So lots to do and lots to help students settle in. And that leads, onto a little bit about scholarships. So our scholarships tend to be broken down into the different faculties and schools. So when looking for scholarships, you kind of want to be looking, for example, in the business school, you want to be looking at the scholarships that are available in the business school. And these are the links that you would need to find those, so undergraduate and master's level as well. And we also have our Link to Leeds students. So these are current international students. They all have a profile, and you can contact them directly on the link on the screen. They are happy to be messaged to arrange kind of talks with you if you want to hear about them, if they're studying a similar subject, or if you just want to hear how they found it settling in. They're happy to talk about anything to do with living and studying in Leeds. They write blogs for us, and they also have their own kind of social media that they run through Link to Leeds, and they'll do things like a day in the life as a student. Some of the blogs are things like, places to eat in Leeds, to placement years that they've done, to graduate roles that they've secured. So lots of different things. Okay. And that kind of brings me to the end. And just to end it, obviously saying that we do have our South Asia team, and that is our email address that's listed there. And they also have Facebook and Instagram, where they post updates regularly of things that are happening, stories about alumni, and lots of interesting things. And then we have my colleague Shabani as well, that is kind of support throughout the application and arrival process. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and sorry for leaving halfway through.
Thank you so much, Kasha. I mean, of course, with regards to applications, if you're interested in applying, you can get in touch with Maces. We've been working with Leeds for quite a few years, and with UK universities, we work with 200 universities across UK, USA, Canada, Japan, Malaysia, Australia, and of course, Leeds is one of our Russell Group top-ranking university partners with some fantastic programs. Now, in order to apply, you can either contact us by phone by 017-5566-0803. You can email us at mail@macesbd.com. You can also get in touch with us through Facebook. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can message us. You can go to our website, which is www.macesbd.com, and find out our offices. We have actually 3 offices, one in Sylhet, one in Gulshan, and one in Dhanmondi. So we're very happy and to welcome you and help you with your application requirements. Now, we have a couple of questions, not too many. Kasha, is there still time to apply for the MSc in Finance program?
Yeah. So I will talk about, in general, the business school, and some of our other schools for master's programs have staged admissions, which means that there are different deadlines throughout the year. So the first deadline for the finance programs will have passed, but there will be other ones. And I think the next one's the beginning of March. And then there are details on when you should hear a decision from when you apply. So yes, there's still time to apply. What you don't want to do is miss the next deadline, because then you could be waiting a very long time for a decision.
Yeah, so that's one of the
So
things,
on the
like there are
course
different.
pages, if it's in staged admissions, it will be listed. Double check that. It's definitely something.
Yeah, so there's definitely something to look at, because there are many universities which have rolling admission, but there, especially universities like Leeds, which are one of the top ranking, they do it on a deadline basis. Like, there's first application deadline, second application deadline, and you don't want to miss it, because once you apply, then of course they take the applications together and make the decision, especially with something like the finance program, which is really, really popular. One of your finance courses, I'm not sure if it's this one, is CFA accredited, right?
I think so. I'm just trying to double check. So we have a few different courses in masters under kind of the accounting and finance. So we have a few different ones. If there are any accreditations on them, then that would be listed on the course page. So it's probably worth double checking.
One thing is that it is triple accredited. So it has EQUIS, AMBA, as well as AACSB.
Yes, so that's the business school in general. I'm not sure if any of them CFA accredited, but it would say on the course page. So yeah, it's worth having a look on the business school website, where you can have a look at the accreditation, also the deadlines, and then work closely with NASIS on kind of the application process from there. But yes, I think the next one is the beginning of March, and then there is normally a couple of months delay before you would hear a decision. So you don't want to just, which is probably something that you're very used to helping students with, you don't want to just miss the deadline, because you could be waiting a very long time then for a decision.
And then it's off with our heads. Why isn't my offer yet?
But all so it does list when you should receive a decision as well. Obviously, some students hear earlier. We don't send them all on that day, but it's just kind of guidelines. But yeah, the deadline to the next one, I would sort of be aiming for that one, but there is a further couple of deadlines as well. So yes, the program definitely is still open, and we do that staggered approach to make sure that all students throughout the year have a chance to apply, because as mentioned, they are very high ranking, and we do receive a very high volume of applications, so we kind of spread it out through the year.
Awesome. So the next question is about scholarships. Are there any international merit-based scholarships for undergraduate students?
Yes. So as I mentioned, they are all based within the schools. So it's looking on the scholarship page under your school, what is available, depending on the course you're looking at. But yes, we do have international merit-based scholarships, but they vary faculty by faculty.
Okay. The next one is the city of Leeds less happening than London or other big cities? So that's a hard one.
That is. So I think one of the main things to know is that Leeds is quite compact. So as I mentioned, you can walk from the campus to one side of Leeds. If you're based somewhere like London, it's huge. It could take you over an hour to get from one side to the other. So it's very different. But Leeds still has everything that a big city would have in the UK. So I'm actually from a very small city in the UK originally. So to me, there's absolutely everything that you need in Leeds. And I like that it's not as big as London, and that I can walk across the city centre and kind of have access to lots of different places to eat and lots of different events happening. That's also a very good question to reach out to our Link to Leeds ambassadors and ask as well, because they are current students living in Leeds. Some of them a lot of them will have visited London during their time in the UK. Some of them may even have done kind of placement years or anything there. So that's a good one to ask them as well.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is that, this is something that I personally am very passionate about, because I know that, okay, it sounds great to live and study in a city like London, but I can tell you this, as someone who studied in the US in a very small university town, I don't think I could have survived in a big city like New York City, which is like, equivalent to London. Because when you go to a very big city, by the way, Leeds is not a small city. It's still, I think you mentioned, the third largest city in the UK. Yeah. So it's not a small city, but as opposed to London, where it's, huge, you have everything in bite-sized, I think, proportions. You still have the nightlife, you have the clubs, you have the restaurants, you have all of that. You have the university with a beautiful campus, but it's all in a size that is acceptable. You're not feeling overwhelmed by the massive size of everything. Like if you go to the London subway, I mean, there is so many things going around. It's like a labyrinth. Whereas if you go to a small city, not only you get a more intimate experience, but I think you get a more, and also what never get you don't complain about is the living costs. It's much cheaper or more reasonable than living in London. I mean, London rents. I think that I don't think any parents would be complaining about the rents you pay when you go to Leeds. Any online basis foundation program available for undergrad students? So I guess this is, a COVID question. I mean, obviously COVID is now on, everything is all getting offline. But if somebody wants to do the foundation part of their program online, is that option available?
So our international foundation year is on the University of Leeds campus with the academics. So no, that one. We do work with some partners that do foundation years based in country. Again, that still probably wouldn't be online. So at the moment, yes, some students might be studying online. But I think doing a foundation year in the UK is very beneficial, particularly for improving English language skills. Our international foundation year students do comment a lot that they feel like they're at an advantage in some ways, because when they go into the first year of their undergraduate degree, they already know the campus, they've got friends, they've settled into the UK, they've settled into the city of Leeds. So no, we wouldn't offer it online because of all the benefits that you have of coming onto the campus, using the facilities that we have, working with academics that you would then work with when you went on to your undergraduate degree. So it is on the campus.
Yeah, and this is also something really, really important, that when you pay so much for your education, we're talking about anywhere between 15 to 17,000 pounds, or for the undergrad or master's much higher. You want to have that full experience. A big part of that investment is the living experience. Going to the coffee shop on campus, as going to the library and physically studying. I think if you are not there physically, it might take away from that. I certainly can tell you, when I was an international student more than 25 years ago, I loved the whole, a big part of who I am today is because of those physical interactions and, interacting with different people and all that. So, and also, during the foundation, you really get used to the campus. And then when you're in your year one and starting your studies, I can tell you, you're going to be in a much more advantaged position than people who have done their A-levels and then they're starting on campus, because you've already had the usual wow factor of a new campus is not there, and your results tend to be much better as well.
Yeah, and you've settled in. We do encourage even our foundation students to stay in University of Leeds accommodation. So you're kind of settled in, you've got friends, the city, you've obviously studied in the UK for an extra year as well. So yeah, the benefits there are a lot of benefits to doing it in person.
So does Leeds offer any arts related programs?
Yes, we do. Depending on what you're looking for. So obviously we have the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Cultures. I would recommend going on our course finder. That was on one of the slides, I've forgotten which one. And you can search depending on undergraduate or master's, and you can put in art and you can see everything that would come up.
Okay. I mean, usually, I guess when they talk about arts, there's music, there's fine art. So if you could specify, we would be able to answer that a little bit more. But, listen, get in touch with us, and then we will be able to answer that for you in our offices or, through Facebook messaging. Is there any scholarship that we can avail having an unconditional offer? So if somebody has an unconditional offer, can they apply for any scholarships, or is it automatic?
So they vary. So that's why it's worth going on the faculty website for scholarships and checking. And it will be very clear whether it is an automatic scholarship, so when students apply, they're considered for it, or whether a separate application has to be made, and then there will be a clear deadline of when you need to apply for it. So looking at all the scholarships that are available, going through each of them to see whether it is automatic or whether you need a separate application.
Okay, that's awesome. I think this is and this is a question that came up. Ahmed, Leeds accepts NCC Foundation, right? When is the ideal time or deadline to apply with predicted grades for undergrad?
So I believe we do. I do not know the requirements. It might be worth dropping a message to Rawam, and you could double check with us. Best time to apply for undergraduate. So the deadline for the UCAS deadline has just passed. That is for UK students. International students can apply anytime up until June. The one thing I would say is popular programs such as the business school and other areas do fill up and they can close early. So I would be looking to apply as soon as you can, just to be sure.
Well, that brings us to the last question. Kasha, thank you so much for taking the time and helping our students, know a little bit about Leeds. Thank you for your questions, and I hope that this will lead to further applications. If you are interested to know more or want to apply or want to inquire, please get in touch with us. You can visit our website www.macesbd.com and fill up an inquiry form. You can start a Facebook chat with us on our website or from your Facebook page. If you're listening to this, you can call us at 017-5566-0803. You can visit us at one of our 3 offices in Gulshan, Dhanmondi, or Sylhet. Thank you again for listening. I hope you all have a great evening. Today is Friday. It was a holiday in Bangladesh, so every Friday is a holiday, by the way, Kasha. We do things a little differently. So thank you so much for listening in, and don't party too hard. And hopefully we'll see you back in our offices soon.
Great. Thank you for having me. And it was nice to speak to all the students. And thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.